start our recording. Hello. Welcome, everybody that's joining us. Welcome to all the people that are listening to us on replay. I welcome you. I hope you are alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic about life and living and ready to have a fantastic time of learning and growing. I welcome you to Perfectly Imperfect, the show where we give you tips, strategies, and resources so that you can live your best life now. I welcome my co-host, Karen Fern, up there in Canada, where you say it's snowing.
Yes.
You know, I think we can actually make it snow.
What? I did not just be trying to. That's lovely.
I was on a blab earlier this week.
Oh.
And you can just make it snow by doing a slash and snow. Yeah. Like you would.
I did this the other day. I told somebody, look, you're still going, like the high fives, and I can't stop it. I don't know what I did. I did that. I just touch on it, and then the whole time it wouldn't stop going. I had to go out and come back in to get it. Look, it's going like crazy. All kind of things happening.
Well, as they add,
you made it slow, and this would not stop.
So it just kept on snowing. Yes. Well, today our topic is don't chase the money, follow the idea. And I am really happy to be sharing this because this is a topic, Karen, that popped in my head. It was an idea that I decided to follow.
So I'm going to go out, not to cut you, and come back in because the props wouldn't stop, and my face is just coming up. I'm just very distracted. She said back on recording. There we go.
Okay. Again, we are talking about don't chase the money, follow the idea. And do a little bit of housekeeping before we actually get into our topic. For those of you who are listening to us on replay, I just wanted to let you know how to get in touch. You can go over to Facebook. I make sure that I put a link to all the blabs and to all of the other things that I'm doing there on Facebook. So at K Elizabeth Green, and that's who I am. If I didn't say it up top, I am Elizabeth Green. You can follow me on Twitter, Blab, and now Periscope. Besides doing my weekly Blab, I am also doing a daily scope to just leave a quick tip, some motivational things, something to inspire you, something to get you through your day. I know how it was with me. And when I was in the workforce, I wanted to, sometimes you just need 1, 2, 3 little words.
Yes.
Help to get you through the day. So that's my goal with my scopes. I've got my new website up and running at kelizabethgreen.com. So go on over there. I am an intuitive life coach and also the founder of the Indigo Institute of Nevada. I work with highly sensitive, natural-born leaders who are seeking to discover and achieve their purpose, to be able to clarify their goals and to be able to not only clarify their goals, clarify their vision, but to tap into their intuition. We're going to be talking about how do we receive our intuition. When you're talking about don't chase the money, follow the idea. Our intuition is given to us through ideas. The sky doesn't open. You don't have a person appear in front of you and say, this is the way to go. Remember, we're talking about that. Our intuition is that still small voice. It's very subtle. And so we're going to talk about that today. Also, I want to let you know about my new group coaching program that is coming up on January 12th. It's a 6-week group coaching program where we're talking about the essential skills to create the life you desire. As a teacher, I knew that the first 3 grades, you received the essential skills. And once you had those under your belt, you could do anything. And really, they're essential skills that if you have under your belt as indigos, that will also help you to create the life you desire. You know, our ABCs are what we learned the first thing when we went to school. Well, the ABCs of the essential skills is to remember, always be connected. When you are always connected to the source, you will be able to achieve your goals.
What date, Elizabeth, if you don't mind?
The date is, I'm doing 2 classes. The first one is on Tuesday.
January date? What date on
January? January 12th on Tuesday, January 12th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. And then the second group is going to be Saturday at 8 a.m. Both of these are Pacific Standard Times, and that starts on the 16th.
Saturday at what time? Saturday, what is the date for Saturday?
Saturday, it's the 16th of January. And it will be the next consecutive 6 Saturdays and the 6 consecutive days on Tuesday. And it's going to be a very interactive class that will allow you to ask questions. You will be doing homework. I don't believe the only way you will be able to know how to utilize these skills is to actually work through them. So we'll work through them together. Also on January.
And how long is the course?
The course is 6 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. I'm also going to do a webinar on the, did I write it down? I tried to be prepared today. I am going to do a webinar, I believe on the 5th, but if you follow me, hi Ahmad, thanks for stopping in. And if you have any questions as we go along, just /Q space and write them on down there as we're talking. I'm going to present it, and then if you'd like to come on in, we'd be more than happy to have you come in and join us. Now, we're talking about, the webinar. If you follow me, I will post the time and place where to go, but I'm looking at January 4th or January 5th that I will be presenting the webinar. And I'm going to do it on using the format Zoom, because Zoom allows us to do the exact same thing that we do.
You can record it, you can share it later, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it will definitely be recorded. So if you can't hit every single week, you can listen to the recording or you can leave me a message. So our topic for today is don't chase the money, follow the idea. You know, Karen, yesterday I was in a lab that they were doing vision boards. And one of the things
I
that
saw that, but I didn't pop in because.
one of the things that we will be doing in the class is talking about how to develop your vision board once you know what you want.
Mhm.
And many people say they don't know what they want.
Right.
Well, in the essential skills, that is one thing that we are going to work through. What do you want? Because I know a lot of times, and we'll be doing different exercises to get clear with it, of what do you want? Many people, and we talked about that all of last month, that many people are blocked as to what they really want because what they're doing is they're chasing the money instead of following the idea. You know, if we remember that the ideas are intuition telling us how to get the money. One of the guys was saying, well, I don't want just things. I want money. I want money. And he said that usually at the beginning of the year, he sets a hard financial goal. Well, yes, you definitely need to set a financial goal that you are shooting for, that you're trying to earn. And I know, Karen, you talk about that all the time in your lab, that you need to set specific financial goals. But how are you going to reach those goals? That's when it comes about of listening to the ideas, listening to the ideas. One of those, I've made myself notes to try to stay very focused today. I don't know what we were talking about, but remember that money, an acronym for the word money, is my own natural energy yield. So you will get money when you are putting forth the effort. You know, whether you are now having a traditional job or you have a small business, you are seeking, and we all are seeking money. But if we chase the money, we will be, it's like little boggles sitting on bright, shiny objects sitting on the side. And everybody who waves a fan about how you can make more money, we will jump off and follow it. Well, some paths are not the ones you want to follow. Do you know what I mean?
Right on. Oh, right on. You know, when I first got online and I would see people making X, Y, and Z, and I said, God, I know how to make money, but not this way. I wonder how they do it, how they get to it. And the more you research and the more you dig into, my intuition keep telling me it's not so. I mean, some people are claiming what they want to make, so they make you think they're making it. That's number one. Because when they give a webinar and they're giving you steps, the steps aren't clear. So I know it's a chance for you to buy programs. So I've bought programs where it didn't yield to where I think it was going to yield. And I think part of it was misleading. A Pacific program I buy for Pinterest and stuff. And I still have it. And I'm still has to work through. But one of the main things that I said to the lady I was presenting, you know, and she did answer the question. She said, I'm going to buy the paid version, even though I was listening to the free, because I wanted more in depth. And the thing I think you should have said to people, if you don't have a website, don't take this course. And I didn't have a website at the time. And I'll tell you why. I couldn't grab people emails being on ST. ST don't want you to reach out to people. ST had so much restrictions. And her thing says that you can be on ST or anywhere. How can you email people? You can email anybody. But if they report you, then you get banned from ST, which means you can't go sell, which is what you want to do. So that, to me, left that gap. Because if I am selling, everybody say you don't have to lie a little bit. But I sell fairly and did very well. So how are you going to tell me that I have to lie to sell well? Because that's what you're saying to me. And so we had formed a group, a bunch of us that was listening and in the program. And we were back and forth. And when I brought out, everybody said, I wanted to ask that question, but I was so happy that you asked it. I said, yes, because we couldn't grow our businesses unless we had a site. And for most of the hand-grown people who were doing things, had no money to build a site, pay somebody to do something professionally. And so nobody was talking about that arena thing. At the time, I was busy with other things. So had I thought of it, I would have, started my program, but I didn't. But that was the key. And I think I go back to money in the sense of the reason I like to teach it is because we skip over that and we look at what we're going to gain. And we skip over that there's a process to get to the gains. And that process, don't matter what you do, even if you inherit it and you didn't know the process, you probably got to lost it. That's the whole thing. You have to be a working person and figure out what to do with your money to keep the one that you get. It goes into your hand and leaves so quickly. This holidays was a perfect example of what I talk about and how you spend money. I'm very money conscious, but still, because I was out and about and doing some things that I don't normally do, I spend way more money than when I do my traditional thing. This year is a little different and I had to do some things. But I just watched the difference, not complaining about spending it, not upset that I spent it. I am happy where it went, but I watched the difference because as I'm teaching this, it's making me also more aware to have the stories to go along with the course as I teach it.
And I agree with you totally. Because again, going back to the discussion they were having yesterday about the vision board, when you get an idea, the vision board just helps you to focus, to help you not look to the right, to the left. The vision board is your focal point. It's your target. It helps you to say, is this going to take me to this goal? Like you said, is getting this course without having the website. Maybe there's, first things first. And as I say that, I'm reminded for the month of January and into February, here on Perfectly Imperfect, we're going to go through the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the things, that's an old business book by Stephen Covey. I just discovered that it is a free download now in the book because the book has been around so much. But one of the habits of a highly effective person is start with the end in mind. If you don't know what you want, you won't.
How are you going to get there?
Okay. You just
when the plane takes off, it knows it's taking us to whatever destination we bought the ticket for. Without that, the plane has nowhere to go. The skies is not a road. There's no traffic lights. You better know where you're heading. Yeah. If not, it's into nowhere land, And so when I saw you had the idea, I totally love it because I said, this is exactly what I'm leading into. That's why when people say to me, why would somebody pay to do a vision board? I said, well, anybody can get a bunch of pictures and stick it together and put it up and say, that's my vision board. It really shows you why you are doing it, because it's the meaning behind whatever we do that gives you the benefit of what you're going to do. I mean, you're teaching people to get their ideas out of their head, put it on concrete, give them steps and exercises to lead them to the very thing they want to do. If you can spend a whole year in your business and do nothing, make no money, just going around chasing your tail.
Yep. You chasing the money. Anything that looks like, oh, this is going to give me money. Oh, this is going to give me money. Oh, I'm going to give money this way. But if you're asking for help, and when we ask for help, we will get answers. You get it through ideas. The ideas come and they say,
hi, Dante.
Hi, Dante. Thanks for dropping in. It will say, this is the way for you. This is the way for you. I was working with one of my clients last week. All right. And she's in a traditional job. So she gets X number of dollars for X number of hours. But she wanted a much larger amount. And I said, well, hey, let's think about it. Let's do some brainstorming. How can you open up another channel for you to bring money in? All
Mm-hmm.
right. And as we talked about it, one of the things she loved and one of the things that she had done, idea that she had received, was that of making dog coats,
Right.
crocheting coats
Mm-hmm.
for doggies. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay, that sounds real good.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go with that idea. That sounds like that might bring you the additional funds that you want. She said, but I need some money. I want some money. I want some money. I said, well, do you have the yarn? Yes. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
have boxes and boxes of yarn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, do you have the time? Well, girl, I'm so tired when I finish this
Mm-hmm.
job, I don't have time. I said, well, what do you do during your lunch break?
You can find it for her. Oh yeah.
Okay, how much time does this coat take you to do? Oh, I can whip them out in an hour. Well, you've got 45 minutes for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You got 15 minutes and you get two 15-minute breaks.
All right then.
Opposed to spending your time sitting there complaining with people about this job that's not providing you with
Mm-hmm.
the money that you
Mm-hmm.
desire.
Yep.
And I always get somewhat frustrated with people that complain about the job that they have because they asked for that job. They
Mm-hmm.
went there, they begged that employer to
Mm-hmm.
employ them for X number of hours for X number of dollars. They
Mm-hmm.
knew they walked through that door and they accepted that position that they were going to get X number of dollars for X number of hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be thankful and grateful that
Yes.
employer is ready to pay you X number
Mm-hmm.
of dollars. All right. So instead of spinning your wheels about something that you can't change,
Mm-hmm.
let's look at an area that you can change. You can, even if it takes you 2-3 days to get a sweater together. If you spend your time on that, you're building up your merchandise. Well, I only have 3 or 4 and I can't do anything about it. I said, wait, we talked about that there were free ways for her to put it online.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the fact that as people see you, because many people have animals of their own at the job that she was at, just
Mm-hmm.
sort of lay them out and put a
Yep.
price on them.
Mm-hmm.
You can take orders. You don't have to have a big surplus right now. What
Right on.
your job is to do is to follow that idea. If you follow that idea, it will bring you the money that you desire. But, well, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take Vegas slot machine. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to put it in and see if I can win some money. Well, as you
Temporary fix.
and it is a very chancy temporary fix.
Very much so.
Very chancy temporary fix. And you talked about, well, I might be lucky. I might be lucky. And you mentioned, which I think was very correct, that luck, if you look at that little acronym for luck, is laboring under correct knowledge.
Yes.
The correct knowledge for her was to spend the time and keep the money that she had and go ahead to have the outfits ready to sell. We talk about, well, I want my intuition. I want my intuition to show me. How can I know if my intuition
It shows you every day. She's seen it every day. I tell people I was working for $6.68 an hour, and I took $12.95 out of that, bought a cross stitch kit, and made $25.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a better ad than going to the slot machine anyway. because all I had to do was the second time, rather than taking the profit, is go back to the store and buy 2 of those same things, and then buy 3 of them, and then buy 4 of them. And by the time I bought my 6th piece, I realized I had thread left over. And if I bought the fabric on its own and used the thread that was left over, and I can design things, I realized, or I could use back the same pattern. I didn't need to spend $12. All of a sudden, I was spending $8 and then only $6, and I can double up my profit. So the minute you start moving on your intuition, the minute you start following your ideas, then more ideas come, then more things flows, then more things happen, then you see the results. But again, the time and energy. And I always find time for people, like you were saying. I did mine on my lunch break. I did it when I took the bus to work and back from work. I started looking at how long it took me. And those times, I count them as bonuses, because I would have traveled the same distance doing nothing. So how is it taken away from me? And people keep forgetting that time. Even if you drive, you know how long it takes you to drive. Then you set up a time. And you know when you come in, because you finished driving, you have that time, because you would spend an hour watching TV. So why not dedicate it to something that's going to bring you the income that you're searching for? Because everybody is searching for an income, and it is so right in front of you. It is so right there.
Correct, because all ideas come clothed with everything that you need to bring them into fruition. If you listen and follow them, you have to be open. You got to expect it. You got to trust it. And then you have to do the one big thing: act on it.
Act on it. And if it's telling you that what you have is overwhelming, you need help, go pay for the help. Then find a way how you're going to pay for that help, because that help is going to shorten your learning curve. But you still have to put in the work. People. It's going to help you in that learning curve. Don't look at this as an expense. When you get a coach that is really interested in what they're doing, and not only trying to tell you you're going to earn 5 or 6 figures, but interested in your growth and see you getting there, it's way more profitable, because that growth will allow you to make double 6 figures. That 6 figures dream will just stop there if that's her only interest or his only interest in it. It has to be above and beyond, because he can't begin to imagine how much you will produce if he invests the time into you or her. You know what I mean?
And it's investing in yourself, because nobody can take the information that you get away from you.
Yes. Years ago, when I was in college, we had a professor who said, the people who are coming here to go to school, to get a job as a police officer or correctional officer, kudos to you. But here's the people who I'm interested in, who's coming here for more than that. So that when the things that I'm teaching, I want them to find jobs within the hidden market to make a living. And when it was a woman, and when she started listing, I got so interested. I loved her classes, and I took it twice. She taught both semesters, all 4 of my semesters. She taught 4 semesters. And I thought this lady was a genius. She was a police officer, but I thought she was a genius compared to a lot of the professors, because she wanted you to not come to school only for the purpose of getting the end result. She wanted you to, while you're in there, figure out that there's way more than what is just being on the board in your books. And the people who took that to heart, I being one of them, really saw the benefit. The people who just went there to go out and get a job, couldn't even find the free jobs that we had to have hours in to prove that we could do. We all had to go there and find jobs, and had a certain amount of 300 or nearly 4 something hours worth of volunteer work, really, and to produce, right, to get some credit. And the people who were so focused came back and had nothing. And that's what I figured. The ones who were capable and who were interested in going beyond, we all came back and had work.
Yeah, and you also come back because you invested in yourself. A lot of times people who are in jobs that they don't like, they claim that they don't have money to invest in themselves.
Yes.
And what I'll do, what I did with
It is a claim.
Let's open up your closet. Okay? Mm-hmm. She had all of these dresses with the tags still on them.
Take them back. Okay.
Okay, the tag's still on it. She said, well, I deserve to have something. I've been working hard. I deserve to have something. Well, hey, if you're complaining about the job that you have, if you invested in yourself so that you can move past this job, if you invested in yourself so that you can do some brainstorming, that's one of the reasons I do a group class. I like group coaching opposed to doing individual coaching, because a lot of times in a group it'll spark something in you that you hadn't thought about.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I wanted to ask a question. Do you cap it as a certain number for the group, or you allow it to grow organically however number of students attend?
Well,
what are you doing that?
I do have a cap in my head right now.
It's in your head. That's all it needs to be. Just ask.
Yeah, I definitely do have a cap, because I don't want it so large that people won't get individual attention. And one nice thing about nice thing about Zoom that I just discovered is that you can have breakout groups.
You can have what?
You can have a breakout group. So you can do the group together as far as the particular lesson. And then you can have people, even though it's virtual, you can have 4 people be in one group where they're not hearing the discussion of the other groups, and have them go in there and really get to bounce off ideas from other people. When I do my live seminars, that's one of the things that I love to do, is to have people break out into little groups so that because some people are shy, they're not going to ask questions, they're not going to talk in a larger group. By breaking them up into small groups of 3 or 4 people, 1, they get to know other people. 2, they are able to share in a small environment and get to hear how somebody else has decided to do it. I always ask the question, what do you want? And if you don't know what you want, we'll help you decide it. One of the ways of knowing or deciding what you really want is to sort of look at your birth path. And that's using numerology, because I always use not only spiritual tools, but practical tools.
Right.
Down home practical tools, because that's why Stephen Covey is one of the things, developing habits that will help.
It's the most wonderful thing ever. I know that I was successful. And one of the things I love, that I could look back at my life and see where my successes are, where I dipped. So it is real life experience. When I had my son at 21, and I got up every morning, and he's looked at 6 in the morning before I start my business, it is essential to that success time. And I say to people, if you tell me you have a baby, I'm going to walk you through having a baby and what I could do. If you tell me it's because you have a parent you're helping, I could walk you through that. I'm so happy that God has given me these experiences. So if you want to tell me about time and don't have money, boy, are you coming to the right place? Because I'll walk you through each and every one of them and show you that it's so possible. It is so joyously possible too. You don't have to be upset and vexed and you despondent. It is so possible with the happiest spirit. I am reading. I always listen to it through YouTube, but I'm reading right now Think and Grow Rich, the edition with like the money and the thing on top of the new version. And when he talks about desire and stuff, and I said, people are so. If you are desiring something, then you can't be in a big rush, because it wouldn't happen. And so you're forging through that desire to get to the other side. If you look at every sports, every athlete, every performer, every designer, you name it, they if they wanted to have it overnight, we would not have a TV show. We wouldn't have this blog because we don't know how long the person was working on it for us to have blog. So please, people, we wouldn't have, the guys who watch football we wouldn't have nothing because it didn't go in the basket right away. They had to figure out that they need to cut a circle so it can fall through. They used to go take it out. Nobody would be where they are. Nobody.
If they
millionaires, the billionaires, nobody would be where they are.
If they didn't start, one of the
and be persistent and accountable to themselves.
Okay. Daily. Like Blab is in beta form. All right. If they had sat and waited until they had perfected it, they would never get off the board. They would not find what works and doesn't work if they didn't begin to start it. Just like with us.
Who would be, when you tell me it was 3 months and I go back, like 3 months we're doing this? 3 months we're doing this. We are at it. And some people might look at us and say, well, they don't have a lot of people hanging out with them. There's not a crowd. But what they are missing the point is we are cultivating our shows. We're getting better. We're putting our place together. This here, I love it so because it just allow us to look. I did a series. You're going to be doing a series. It puts us in such a beautiful space that we are going to see this space. I know we are in the midst and we're seeing the goodness of it, but give us until next year and we will understand this space way more better than we just did. I know for me, I can't wait for next year this time to come around because I know when I look back, I can't even begin to imagine what I'm going to be, where my mind is going to be and what's going to be happening, but I know it's going to be just such good things.
Well, I look back at just the 3 months at the beginning, just feeling comfortable with this format, feeling comfortable with being on camera. I might have been a speaker, but I didn't see myself. So,
right. Right. When I'm ready to do a webinar, I can actually do a webinar and just have the slides going up and show you because I am okay talking with you. Before, although I can do a video and talk to myself, was different. It was just different. I've got a webinar coming up. As I haven't even promoted it, but I know I'm going to do it. This is the thing. I'm not even scared. I'm going to promote it. How much people show up, it's fine, but it's going to be there. It's going to get done. Why? Because now I know what I want to present. I know how I want to present it. And I know the number wouldn't bother me. And I got to tell you, before earlier this year, if I didn't have a certain number and I was planning, was getting response, I would be panicking. And I know I don't have to worry about that because if 2 people show up, I'm going to do it. If 10 people show up, I'm going to do it because then I'm going to send out the replays to people. So they can listen to it. You see what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I've taken over 7 of our blabs because we have given very good, concrete information of how to, if you want to live your best life now, we've given, and I know, I went back and listened to it and I put them up, and those blabs, they may not be highly attended live, but that wasn't my focus. My focus was to get comfortable with doing this format, and in pushing forward and getting comfortable with doing this format, I now have content for my blogs, which I didn't have before. So even though initially when I started, that was not my end goal. Again, all ideas come clothed. We may not know how we are going to get there, but those are concrete information, and when people visit my website, that they will be able to find out how to do this, why should I not chase the money? Why should I follow the idea? Right. So as other people, we'll focus this year on building our audience. We'll focus this year on building our classes, but we had to first start with the idea
Mm-hmm.
and let the idea develop. I remember when I was consulting, and I was mentioning to a friend of mine that salespeople get paid way more money than the consultants do. He said, "Well, why
Mm-hmm.
don't you do sales?" You know, because I don't know sales, babe. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, you know, you can get out there and you can do it and you can make the money, chasing the money.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that the idea I had would take time. It
Mm-hmm.
would develop. That you can't go from kindergarten to 12th grade
Mm-hmm.
overnight.
Nope.
It requires you to do the work.
And you're not getting out of it. You're not getting out of it. If you cannot add 2 and 2 is 4, you will certainly can divide it by 2. So
Okay. Yeah. And too often in our microwave society, we are so concerned with getting it quick
Mhm.
gratification,
Yes.
opposed to realizing that we need to do the work. And I took a well, yeah, it was in that coaching class that I took. Even though I have trained to be a spiritual counselor as far as metaphysical,
Mhm.
you know, I've got licenses for that. I've got a license for teaching metaphysical study. I've got a license in teaching. I coached in the business area. This was a new area, a
Mhm.
new arena for me.
Right.
So I knew that I needed, and especially doing it online, I needed to get more information to do it effectively. I mean,
Mhm.
just even learning how to use Facebook and Twitter and all of the social media that I'm now using to get out my word or my information, I needed to invest the time
Mhm.
in doing it. People said, "Well, it's taken you so long to get off to get started." No, that's part of building spiritual muscle. And talking about
Mhm.
that, my book, my book is done. It's like
Amen.
I am reading through it right now. Making my editor has sent
Is
me.
it an ebook or a physical whole book?
Well, it'll be both available in physical. I'm going to be putting it up on Amazon,
Okay.
and it will also be available for download.
Okay.
But I thought it had to just be a physical book. You know,
Mhm.
when I first started it, there
Mm.
wasn't a thing of ebooks.
Okay.
But
Oh, you started a while ago then,
I
before you
started
started Blab.
way before I started Blab. I
Okay.
started the book. Matter of fact, I started the book in 2008.
Mm.
So it's been, I start and finish the book. It's
Mm.
interesting how my guides work. It's like, okay, we gave you the information.
Mhm.
You put all the information down. Now, before you release this book, we want you to make sure that this information works. It works
Okay.
for a person who doesn't have help. So they stripped my help. We want to make sure it works for a person who
That, oh man, when that happens, it's so funny. It's so funny, and you're so right.
I had to walk my
You
talk.
have, yes, you have to, and that's what I realized. You have to. It stripped me of, because I couldn't begin to relate to people who didn't know what to do with money, didn't had hardship in money, because although I grew up in hardship in money, I figured out what to do with money and then had no problems with it after that. So I got stripped of every cent I had. I got stripped of everything. So when I tell you what you can do to get you back there and do, I'm not joking, because I got stripped enough so that when I tell you, it's because I walked it.
Okay. Hey, hey, that's it. I know I started from nothing. Because in the book, I talk about it as I was reading back through, because like I said, it was 8 years almost ago. And I put it to the side after I finished it. And then boom, as soon as you think you know, universe said, let's see if you really know, babe. Let's see if you
and
really
walk you through it. And I realized that's why I wasn't able to do anything, because I had to go through the process. That's why it didn't work the first time I did the course online. I mean, people got back to me, people got benefit out of it. Yeah, it was a free scenario. I was none. It was just this feeling, this urge. I have an ebook written. I've not done anything with it, and I know also it is done. But I wanted to do it and have a workbook with it. But the workbook could not be finished because I needed this work. So now this work can go into the workbook and you get it as a companion, because I knew that's what it needed to be. But I couldn't write the companion because, of course, there's some experiences I have to go through first before the companion can be written. And now that the companion is ready, I can definitely say this book is $29.95, because it's almost like you're getting a course out of the book and you're learning something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is one of, people say, well, why would you continue to do blab and you're not getting a large following? Hey, every single episode that we've done is information that will go into the book. Because I've got the last part of the book to do. You know what I mean?
I've been had that whisper in my ears all the time. My kids have been good and saying, Mom, when is your show? They're like, everybody's in tune with it, but I've been having the whisper saying, why are you wasting time? There's nobody attending. You advertise, you tell people, but people are not coming on board. And I said, that's because the purpose of this startup is not so. But what's going to happen later is what it's preparing me for. Everything that I've been prepared for in my life, I've watched it. At the time, I saw it for one thing, but it was never meant for that. But I eventually see what it's meant for. And so now, at this point, I'm able to say, okay, so that's what we get. Oh, this is why. Oh, so that's why I was in there. Oh, okay, I got it. And if I need more lessons, I take them. I'm not arguing about it. No.
Hey, totally agree. Like I just finished a 10-day challenge on Periscope. When I heard initially about Periscope, I could not see the benefit of Periscope. I could not see where it would, how talking out in space would help me. But going through the 10-day challenge, I now see how Periscope fits right into what I said I wanted to do. I said I wanted to be able to deliver a daily 10 to 15 minute motivational thing that a person could listen to on their cell phone and be able to, if they come out on break, they'll listen to it on their cell phone. They'll be motivated enough to go back in there and continue focusing on their goal. And how? I didn't know. I just know I wanted to deliver it. Now, Periscope shows up. I looked at it, but I didn't know how to use it. And a lot of times, if we can get information, but if we don't know how to use the information, it is of no use to us. Just like with the book is building spiritual muscle, because I keep relating it to bodybuilding. Just like with exercising, you can get all of the information, and there are tons of people who have different ways for you to shape your body, different ways for you to lose weight. But until you actually use some of it, not just know about it, but use it, you won't understand what it's doing. Karen, I must pause, but it's learning how to use the information that we get. And that is one, people who tell you it's going to be quick, people who tell you that you won't have to work, people who tell you that it's only going to take you 90 days and you will
Oh
have
boy.
the body of your
Oh boy.
dreams.
Oh boy.
You need to really think about that and be
Yes.
realistic about where you are. Perhaps it only took 90 days for that person who only needed to lose 5 or 10 pounds. And they did not need to lose the pounds. They just wanted to have that additional thing. So it took them 90 days. Well, you're 50 pounds, 75 pounds away from your goal. You have to be
A whole different
story. And
whole different story.
I was listening to one program that said, well, don't tell people it's going to require work. Because if they hear the word work,
yes,
they won't join.
I think there's not a right time for me, because the people who come to me and I say it's a lot of work and they're worried, they're not ready. They're not ready to put up and roll up their sleeves. Because when I go to a program, people tell me it's a lot of work. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, because I'm going to dive in. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. And I also want to find the time for it. You know, when I hire a coach, and if I don't have the time, there's no point paying money for the time to do the work she's going to give me, because I know she's going to give me the work because I've asked for it. I know what I need to learn, and she has a specialty in it. Then I need to have that time to dedicate for it, because don't fool yourself. And I say to people, I'm always in training in some sort or another, because I'm taking a course online or I have a coach behind me. And I hire a sales coach and I need her to help me. If I can't allow a day, I'm not going to do little things in between. But if I can't allow a day to dedicate to that specific thing that I know they need is going to drive my business, why am I paying a woman? Why am I wasting her time and mine? Because it's two people's times getting wasted. She's putting in the energy to produce, and I am just taking and sitting on it. It is time wasted, both ends. So I will not hide. Well,
ooh, are you okay?
Ooh, yeah. Why my lights came down?
It was spirit saying, right on, you're right.
Yeah. And why would I have it if I can't find the time? So make no mistake, you can't run a business, do everything you're doing, and not taking some time to learn new stuff. Probably brush up on some old stuff. Be informative, because you can't be feeding onto people if you're not feeding onto yourself. You have to fill you up to give to another. And when you're giving, you have to keep replenishing. You know, I can't give all my food away. Like those parents that I meet that say, you know, I would give my kid the last food and I would eat nothing. And I say to them, that is pretty silly and you're sounding dumb. I'm not giving my kids all my food, because then I wouldn't have any energy to take care of them. We're all going to eat the food. Nobody's going to get all the meat and I stay with nothing, unless we're veg. Then if we're vegetarian, there would be no meat, and I'm not a vegetarian.
Well, what do they say on the airplane? Put on your own oxygen mask first.
Thank you very much.
First, I posted on my Facebook page, K. Elizabeth Green, a video from Jada Smith.
Yes, and I've seen it. Somebody had posted before, and it's very powerful.
You know, like she said, hey, I can take care of these kids, I can take care of my husband, but if I don't take care of myself first, I'm going to be mad, and I'm going to be blaming everybody else. You know, you have to be willing to take responsibility. Yes. And it's not up to them to say, oh, no, you go take care of yourself. It's up to you to say, wait a minute, this idea is important to me. And if I want to achieve this, I've got to be willing to do what it takes in order to bring it forth.
I always say, we were here for sales with my husband. Like, you met me, so it was me and you. And we add the kids to the party. How come now you're going to put the kids in front of me and you? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, and people don't understand it. Well, yeah, when it's a baby, you're taking care of the baby, but you're still not putting the kid in front of your relationship. Because if you're not a whole and don't have a good relationship, you actually, the kids is having nothing. You really think you're giving them something, but absolutely nothing, because you're too mad and upset and disappointed to have anything really good to give to them. So no, it's an extra job, an extra journey, an extra mile to go to be able to do this, and you have to really be. I was talking to a girl once, and she said, "So why are you not a parenting coach?" I said, that's the phase of my life where I'm at right now. And I've given lots of that kind of help before. That's not right. But Mark, make no mistake, if you're in my coaching program and that's the need, as I said, God has given me so much great skills along the way that you'll benefit from them.
Yeah, I know many people ask me, well, why are you focusing on the spiritual aspect, the personal aspect? You have teaching background, and what you share is so important for the child. I said, no, it's important for the parents, because those parents are the one that chose to bring that child in, and they need to my goal is to help them get happy with what they're doing, and give them the confidence that they can listen to their own inner voice, and how to listen to their own inner voice so they can take care of their child. No, I'm not going to take care of their child for them. Like I always say, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was demanding to know, tell me, you mean you're not going to go out and help the masses? I said, I will teach anybody who wants to learn how to fish. But I'm not going to continue to feed them fish. They have to be, when they're working with me, that's the type that I'm working to draw to me. When they are working with me, is to be willing to do the work to learn how to do it themselves. There have been many things that I've done in my life, like I was doing intuitive readings, and people wanted me to tell them what to do. No. I will point you to your own inner guidance. I will tell you how to distinguish your own inner guidance from that yapping dog that's in your head. I will help you to remove those blocks that are preventing you from hearing the voice of your soul. But only you can tell you what you need.
Exactly.
And if you're always running around and saying, tell me, I want you to lead me,
you're not going anywhere.
and like some people, some coaches will tell you that, well, you want the person to be with you and to continue with you. No, I want that person to get to the point that they're standing on their own. And I'm steadily pushing them to, I'm not going to lift the weight for you. No, I might spot you so that you can get it up. But I'm not.
I agree. I actually believe you should come in and go away and come back, because you need to go and grow a little bit on your own, and then you can come back to some more. I actually like that.
Correct.
I like it because it just shows me that you're standing on your own 2 feet. It doesn't make me feel bad that you're not staying with me. Because I love progress. I wanted to move on so new people can come. I always say, all countries started off with whoever was there. But so many people have come to wherever they are, because people think it's only North America people come to get betterment. People go all over the world for that. And so if you allow an immigrant to come in and do the bottom of the barrel jobs, which usually is the case, that immigrant, that person, everybody's an immigrant if you don't live in that country. You need to move forward so a new immigrant can come and take your place. Don't stay there. Because when you stay there, you're doing it at this service. People never understood when I said, I'm washing dishes, but I need to move so somebody else can come and wash the dishes. And they're like to me, who else do you think want to wash the dishes? Oh, there's people who need this job. Because I intend to move from this job. This This is on my lifeline here. So of course I need to move on. When you come, do yourself the same service so that you can let somebody else take this place, so you can grow and move, so that you will have something to tell somebody else. It's not a matter of just staying there and taking up space. It's like there's people who argue about people who need to retire and move from certain positions.
Correct.
Get on with life so that the new people can get in place. I agree with that so much, because there's no time for you to go volunteer, time for you to go do philanthropy. This is your time now for you to give back in ways that has nothing to do with money.
Correct.
Because you are at the place where you're going in a different place. Now, money can be involved in it, but it shouldn't be where if I didn't work 40 hours, I wouldn't get this amount of pay, so I couldn't do this. No, you're at your glee. Your time is your own. If you didn't decide a path like we did, now is your time to get a path where you are not clocking in and out. You're in this space where it's total enjoyment while you're there. And if money happened to be part of the plan, whoop-de-doo, but it wouldn't make or break you, because you have been growing in life.
Well, one of the things I realized when I left the corporate world was that I discovered I needed less. I spent less money when I left than when I was there. And the reason I did, so I had more available to me because I was happy with what I was doing. I didn't have to go out and shop till I drop and have outfits that have tags on them, because I felt that I had worked so hard doing something I disliked so much that the only way that I could be happy was to get these things. Yes. Things will come and go. Don't chase the money. Follow the idea. That is what brilliant. You need to do. And so, as we are wrapping it up, and we're talking about ending 2015 and moving into a fantastic 2016, because that's what we are doing. Next time we see you will be in a brand new year. I want to encourage you to, one, listen, follow the idea. If the idea is you need more training, if the idea is I want to start something new, if it's the idea is you need to get an idea. I want to encourage you to enroll in the essential skills for creating the life you want. I want to encourage you to keep coming back every Tuesday. We're definitely are going to be giving you good tips, helping you to develop those habits so that you can get up each morning and be thankful and grateful and love having this life that you can express to the fullest. You're not dreading it. That is my goal. That is my intention for 2016. So, as I said, if you're following on Facebook, listening to me on replay, following on Twitter, know that I will be posting before Friday the date and time for the webinar, where I will go step by step through what will be covered in the essential skills. As I said, the first ABCs of the essential skills is always be connected to your source, and get rid of all of that other crap that is in your head. Karen, I want to thank you for joining me as always. And as we talk, we always give more information than we thought we were going to get. Yes. Spirit is so great with doing that for us. I also want to remind you that, join. Don't let another year go by without you taking responsibility for the type of life you have. You can do, be, have anything, but anything that you're willing to take the responsibility for and do the work, you will be able to achieve it. I'm here. It is my pleasure, my joy, my mission to help you to do that and to support you through it, leaving you with my poem about don't quit. Because when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit, for life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us will someday learn, and many a failure turn about that might have won if they stuck it out. Success is failure turned inside out the silver tint of the cloud of doubt, and you never know how close you are. You may be near when it seems so far, so stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. May light, love, and laughter follow you throughout your day, throughout your week. I am Elizabeth Green, and this is Karen Fern. We'll see you on Thursday for some tips about business. And we thank you so much for joining us. Have a blessed day.